Around Kansas, brought to you by
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
So welcome back, folks, and I love viewing the wildlife as you go around Kansas, and far western Kansas, just outside of Atwood, Jeff and Alice Hill used to live out there, and I think they've moved south to be with their grandkids now. But on their ranch, which bordered on Colorado, Jeff told me was the only natural elk herd in Kansas. So the elk used to be everywhere. When Lewis and Clark came through, heck, everything. You couldn't walk without bumping into a bear or an elk or bison or something. And of course the thousands of settlers that came through kind of took care of that. But there are, when I was researching this story, a lot of elk in Kansas now.
Well, there's a lot of conservation going on because the buffalo herds have come back. Of course, deer, or we need to import some wolves or something. Sorry, hunters.
Bambi is the most dangerous animal. Is it like 10,000 car accidents a year or something just in Kansas?
You have a 1 in 5 chance of hitting a deer. A 1 in 5 chance. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
So when you're going down like a 2-lane road, especially if you have trees on either side, that's when to start watching the tree line, because they come out and they run from one tree line to the other.
Yeah.
So anyway, be very careful.
So far, the elk car accidents haven't escalated to that.
There aren't many trees out there.
There aren't many trees. That's right. No place for them to hide.
That's why elk are out there.
And they're so doggone big. They almost twice as big, maybe, as the deer would be, something like that. Yeah, they're pretty big animals.
See how interesting Kansas is? I mean,
there's just no end to it. No end to the great stories.
I mean, we have gray squirrels in the eastern part of the state, red squirrels here, and then we have deer here, and they have elk out there, and it's just all kinds of stuff.
Black squirrels in Marysville?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go back and archive that story. And if there's stories, if you got something unusual that you want to share with us or make us aware of, let us know. You can find us on Facebook. You can find our emails there. Share our Facebook stories. We got a YouTube channel. Do you know that? We got a YouTube channel. So you can go to YouTube. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but you can go to YouTube and find our stories, and feel free to share them. That's what it's all about. We want to get those great things out there, and send them to your friends. We've got friends. We might have talked about this one day, watching, in Europe and different places. And when I was in New Mexico a couple of weeks ago, visiting with a lot of friends, and they're talking about, how can I watch your show online? Is this a great country or what?
Yeah.
Stay tuned. When the Plains tribes ruled the prairies, bison were not the only big game populating the grasslands. Elk were common in pre-settlement Kansas, but were extirpated at the turn of the century, meaning they were not extinct, but no longer native to the area. However, a small herd was maintained at the Maxwell Wildlife Area near McPherson. The 2,200-acre enclosure is operated as a refuge and also features bison. In 1981, elk from Maxwell were released at the Cimarron National Grassland, and that herd was free-ranging. To keep that herd from growing too big and causing crop damage, a limited resident-only season was opened in 1987. Later in the 1980s, elk were captured at Maxwell and released on the Fort Riley Military Reservation. That herd is also free-ranging, and a season was established for the fort in 1990. Today, elk are primarily hunted on and around Fort Riley, but individual elk or small herds may be found at other locations around the state, and hunting is permitted everywhere except a portion of Morton County. About 900 applications are received for the 20 or so permits allotted each year, and they are divided among military personnel and Kansas residents. There are more than 50 breeders in the state, many of whom offer some kind of hunting on their property.
Oh, I think we just have way too much fun. So anyway.
I'm glad you can join us for it too. We love having you with us. So share the word, pass the word.
I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere around Kansas. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
ice cream.